My people, the US, UN, and the global world, that is the world lawyers, they have rising up for the release of NNAMDI KANU due to the issue of judgment on Motosho, and the Nigerian government is judging on the case of NNAMDI KANU, because in the history of the world, I will say in the history of the world, even in the history of Nigeria, no one, we repeat, no one have ever judged, or the case have ever done like the way they are doing to NNAMDI KANU today. So, and everyone is watching, the world is watching, and as it is now, the world lawyer, they have risen up for NNAMDI KANU. They are rising up to stand with NNAMDI KANU due to the way the government is taking the whole thing, because every day judgments without any meaningful thing. And if you can see, that is why NNAMDI KANU have taken the case, say that he want to become his own lawyer by himself and starts on his case due to what the Nigerian are doing. Because any lawyer that is coming up, he will be afraid due to he don't know what he will say and what the government will do to him. That is why most of his lawyer, they don't know what to say, and they used to be afraid to speak up. That is why NNAMDI KANU, you see him taking his case by himself. So as it is now, the world lawyer, they have stand for NNAMDI KANU because of the injustice that is going on in Nigeria. Well, these our Biafran activists is going to explain a lot of things that is going on between the world leaders and between Nigerian government and NNAMDI KANU issue. So don't skip any part of it. Try to watch it to the end, because this man, he really explained a lot of things going on between the world lawyers and between the Nigerian government. So as you're about to watch, like, subscribe, and share it to go around. Let it get to everywhere. And thank you for watching.
My people, today's story is shaking both Nigeria and the international community. The headline everywhere now says, world lawyers finally agreed to intercede for NNAMDI KANU, sanction Nigeria judiciary against Biafra freedom. When you hear that, you know it's serious, because for the first time in a long while, lawyers from different parts of the world are uniting to take a stand about something happening right here in Nigeria. Please, before I continue, just like this video, and subscribe to the channel so you'll always get every fresh gist the moment it drops. Now, this whole thing started after months of tension, court cases, and public outcry over how NNAMDI KANU's matter has been handled. People have been shouting that his case has dragged too long, that justice is either being delayed or denied, depending on who you ask. On the other side, the Nigerian judiciary keeps insisting that they are following due process, that the law must take its full course, and nobody, no matter how influential, is above the law. But recently, what turned this whole situation into a global matter is that several international legal bodies, human rights organizations, and global lawyers said they could no longer ignore what they were seeing. According to reports reaching everywhere, these groups are now saying they want to intervene, not to take over the case, but to make sure that justice is done in a fair and transparent way. They claim that the Nigerian judiciary has been under heavy political pressure over this particular issue, and they want to monitor things more closely. Some of them are even calling for sanctions, not the kind that targets ordinary citizens, but the type that focuses on individuals in the system who might have used their power wrongly. That alone has caused plenty of reactions, both online and offline. Now let's talk about why this is such a big deal. You see, when outside legal bodies begin to show interest in a country's internal judicial process, it means they believe something might have gone wrong. And whether or not you support NNAMDI KANU, the issue here goes beyond one man. It's about how justice is seen in Nigeria. Many Nigerians are now wondering, if the world has to step in before fairness can happen, what does that say about our system? People who support NNAMDI KANU are happy about this development. They say it is long overdue that finally someone outside Nigeria is paying attention. But others are asking if this move might affect Nigeria's image internationally. Because when world lawyers and human rights groups start talking about sanctions or oversight, It sends a message that there's a crisis of trust in the country's judiciary. Remember to like this video right now, please. It helps more people see this gist. And if you haven't subscribed, kindly do so. You know we always give you real-time stories, the way they're happening. Back to the matter, NNAMDI KANU's supporters have been saying that his detention has dragged on for too long without clear progress. They've been holding protests, writing letters, and even reaching out to international organizations. It seems all that pressure is finally paying off because this global response didn't just appear overnight. It took months of petitions, letters, and consistent public advocacy. Now, this new move by world lawyers means Nigeria could soon face questions from international courts or organizations that deal with justice and human rights. Some groups have already mentioned that if it's found that court procedures were ignored or that the defendant's rights were violated, they could recommend further investigations. But of course, you know how things work. The Nigerian government has remained firm, saying the country's judiciary is independent and that nobody outside has the right to interfere in our legal matters. Government officials are warning that the sovereignty of Nigeria must be respected and that external influence might only complicate the matter. Meanwhile, on social media, Nigerians are divided. Some are clapping for the international lawyers, saying, yes, so finally someone is doing something, while others are warning that too much foreign interference could open doors to unnecessary pressure on our institutions. Now, what's interesting about this entire issue is that it has drawn attention back to a wider question. How strong is the Nigerian judiciary? Can it really operate without fear or favor? Because one thing this case has exposed is that public confidence in the judicial system is low. People now think some cases take too long while others move too fast, depending on who is involved. If you're still watching, thank you. And please don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss part 2 of this kind of gist. Now let's look at the bigger picture. Why would global lawyers suddenly decide to intercede? Usually, these types of interventions only happen when international observers believe there's a pattern, a consistent situation where certain rights are being violated or legal procedures are being ignored. It's not just about one trial, it's about how the system is functioning overall. And because NNAMDI KANU's name is tied to Biafra, a very sensitive topic, it makes everything more complicated. The world sees this as both a legal issue and a political one. Nigeria, on the other hand, insists it's purely a security and criminal matter. But the more both sides talk, the more the public gets confused. Some human rights groups are now saying that if Nigeria doesn't handle this case properly, it could affect foreign relations. International investors, foreign governments, and even humanitarian organizations are watching to see how this story ends. Because when the rule of law is questioned in any country, it affects confidence in everything else, including the economy and politics. Many Nigerians, especially young people, are also speaking up on social media, saying they want transparency. They want to know why the court process has dragged on and why there's so much secrecy around some parts of the case. They believe that if justice is truly being served, then there's nothing to hide. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. And please make sure you've subscribed. We share these updates in simple language so everyone can understand what's really going on. Another thing that's making this matter hotter is that several global lawyers have said they are prepared to send official reports to their respective governments. That could mean that in the coming weeks or months, we might see some diplomatic moves. Discussions between embassies, maybe even debates at international forums about Nigeria's human rights record. But the question remains, will this actually change anything? Will this pressure make Nigeria speed up the trial, or will it make things even slower? Because once foreign involvement enters a case like this, it can sometimes make local authorities defensive. There are also people saying that this could be a chance for Nigeria to show the world that its judiciary is capable. If the government handles things openly and lawfully, it could restore some of the lost confidence. But if more violations are recorded, then the international pressure might continue to grow. And you know the truth. In today's world, once something becomes global news, it doesn't just fade away. Social media makes sure that every little update gets amplified. Every time something happens in court, people around the world will be watching, tweeting, and reacting. That's why this headline carries so much weight. World lawyers agree to intercede. It means this story has now moved beyond Nigeria's borders. Please, if you're still with me, click the like button. It really helps us grow and reach more people who need to hear this story clearly. Now let's think about what this could mean for Biafra supporters. For them, this is a moral victory. It feels like the world is finally listening. For years, they've been saying their voices weren't being heard, and now, with international lawyers stepping in, they believe the fight for fairness is gaining recognition. However, those who oppose the movement are warning that this could bring more division because they fear that international attention could embolden separatist elements. They're saying, let Nigeria solve its issues internally without interference. The reality is that both sides have a point. International involvement can sometimes help ensure fairness, but it can also create diplomatic tension. The key will be how both Nigeria's judiciary and government respond to these new developments in a calm and transparent way.
Yes, we love the way they have taken this step. They need to come into to see what is really going on in the government of Nigeria, because the way Tinubu is handling everything, the way I hope everybody is seeing the way, even the issue of Showore due to the protest for NNAMDI KANU race, then both the lawyers of NNAMDI KANU, both Showore and other people, is being arrested for what is going on in Nigeria. The way the Nigerian government is doing, they believe that they don't want to release NNAMDI KANU. Even when their court have already said that to release this man, he did not commit anything. So, but still yet they ignore everything and they keep doing what they are doing. So we love the way the world lawyers, they have risen to come into this game of the Tinubu and the judiciary in Nigeria, because the executive is known as the judiciary this time around. So everybody is afraid of what he will say and what he will do, due to the issue of that is, anybody that talked, I will arrest him. Anybody that say, they will arrest him. So nobody knows who is who, and now it is the executive have now turned to become the judiciary in Nigeria. So it is very nice. So that let's see if finally they will release Mazi, because it had been a long time. Everybody, they have been saying to government, release him. Since the time Buhari came in, you went to Kenya to kidnap somebody who did not do you anything, due to he's talking about the injustice happening in Nigeria and the way the Igbos are staying. It is not the way it's supposed to be. How can you be working and the building everywhere and every zone, but when it comes to Igbo zone or Igbo issue, you turn it upside down, and then you claim that we are the part of Nigeria? You turn us to become the second class citizen or the third class citizen of a country, which is not so. Everybody have the right to agitate, and everybody have the right of anything you give to Mr. A, you need to give it to Mr. B. You don't need to deprive them anything. Now already some of them will claim that they don't trust Igbo in government, you don't trust them in social, but you trust them, but you need their economic, you need their business, you need their money, and you want them to stay with you, but you don't want them to become part of your government, and you don't to also want them, you don't want to be giving them what you are giving to other zone, but you need their money. So, and you hate them. How can you hate people? How can you hate a tribe and still yet you still want that tribe to become part of you? It is not done that way. And then the issue of Mazi, what NNAMDI KANU is talking about is either you do us fair, you do us the way you do to others, or you create regional system or you totally divide the nation, because the best way in this country, it is total division of the country. Because if you've said you want to have federal system of government, one day or the other, one of them or the northern parts, one day they may rise up and they destroy everything, and it will still go back to this central system which we are today, that is destroying and killing everybody. And the same issue of federal system of government, that Ojukwu went to Aburi, and because of it they fought a war. So there is no how the government will wake up and accept a federal system of government. Let each zone be on your own and develop your side. I don't think there will be any time the government will accept it, because they have seen that what they used to fight war finally is now later come to become a reality. It will be as if they are not understanding what they are doing, and some of them will go to prison. Some of them will go to prison that follows to fight against the Igbo, because what the Igbo stand for is justice, fairness, and peace in the nation. But the other zones, they are looking the Igbo nation as a people that is a troublemaker, everywhere. We cannot stay and you will be doing everything to other zones, and you come to the east, they will become a conquered territory according to their own law, according to their own idea. So it will be no more anymore, and that is the reason why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is agitating for Biafran state. So anybody who don't know what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is talking about, you should go and sit down in one place. And this issue of the world leader, world lawyers, and the leaders coming into this matter, we love it, and we believe that it will come out in a very good way and with very good form. So my people, I would like to hear your comments down below. Like, subscribe, and share the video to go around. Let it get to everywhere to see and to understand things happening in Nigeria. And thank you for watching.